Welcome to video lecture on heat transfer. Myself Khushbu Shah, Assistant Professor in Chemical Engineering Department of LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. In our previous session of heat transfer, in chapter convection, we have discussed about some of the classification of individual heat transfer coefficient. And we have seen what is heat transfer without phase change. In that we have discussed that dimensional analysis is one of the most useful method to combine all the factors, or I can say to combine all the variables for heat transfer by convection. So in today's session we will see this method of dimensional analysis. So let's see application of dimensional analysis for forced convection. Here we have considered the forced convection and we will see how we can apply the dimensional analysis method in heat transfer by forced convection. Actually, we have already studied this dimensional analysis method in our subject fluid flow operation. The method is same as we have studied in that subject. We just quickly revise in today's session as it is applied for the heat transfer by forced convection. So here we, for the derivation purpose, to derive a relationship for heat transfer coefficient H for forced convection by heat transfer on the assumption that coefficient H is the function of different variables. Here we have considered that heat transfer by convection, and for heat transfer by convection, if I want a relation for heat transfer coefficient, we have considered that heat transfer coefficient is dependent on these variables. Let's see what are that variables. L, which is linear dimension of the surface, Cp, specific heat of the fluid, rho, density of the fluid, mu, viscosity of the fluid, K, thermal conductivity of the fluid, and U is the velocity of the fluid. So here we have considered that heat transfer coefficient H for heat transfer by forced convection depends on these factors, on these variables. So by using these information, I want to derive an equation or I want to derive a relation for heat transfer coefficient H by using this dimensional analysis method. So let's see, from these we can write that H, that is heat transfer coefficient, is function of these variables rho, U, L, mu, Cp and K. So I can write these equation as I am now just giving a power to all the variables, small a, b, c, d, e and f. So the equation is H is equal to capital A into bracket rho raised to a, u raised to b, l raised to c, mu raised to d, Cp raised to e and k raised to f. Now in this equation, capital A, small a, b, c, d, e and f are constants. So in this method, first we are giving some constant powers to all the independent variables. Now in the next step, I have to write the dimensions of each variable in the form of m, l, t, theta and f. We know what is the fundamental dimensions. You have already studied these fundamental dimensions in subject material and energy balance, right? So in the same way here we have to write the dimensions of all these variables in the form of fundamental dimension. When I say fundamental dimension, that is in the form of m, l, t, theta and f. So let's write that first. See here, I have written in the form of table. You can see in the table, first column is parameter, second unit and third is the fundamental dimension. So parameter, that is our variables, dependent and independent all. So in that first parameter is H, which is heat transfer coefficient. What is the unit of H? Watt per meter square Kelvin. So from unit you can easily write the dimension. So what is the dimension of H? F, L minus 1, theta minus 1, T minus 1. So in the same way, we have written all the parameters h, k, cp, mu, u, l and rho. Simultaneously write units of all the parameters and the fundamental dimensions in the form of f, m, l, t, theta. Right? So it is easier that first you have to write the unit and then write the fundamental dimensions. So in this second step, we have written the units and the fundamental dimension. Now in the next step, write that equation in the form of fundamental dimension. See, now substitute the dimensions of all the variable in previous equation of h. So now the equation will become like this. See, f, l minus 1, theta minus 1, t minus 1. This is the dimension of h, which is equal to capital A as it is, which is a constant. Then rho raised to a. We have written in that equation rho raised to a. So in place of rho, write fundamental dimension of rho, which is m, l minus 3. So raised to a. So what I have done? In place of variable, I have written its fundamental dimension. Clear? So like this, you can write this whole equation. In place of variable, we have written fundamental dimension and give power to that. Now in the next step, we have to equate the powers of fundamental dimension f, m, l, t, theta. So now we have to equate the powers of m, l, t, theta and f. So what we have to do? We have to write we have to compare the powers of this fundamental dimension. Compare, that means right hand side equal to left hand side power. Right? So starting with the f, see here, force f is equal to 1 is equal to E plus f. So if you see the equation, see f, here right hand side f raised to 1. So 1 is equal to, here you have to see like this. See, where is f? F is here, raised to E, and another f is here, raised to f. So for f fundamental dimension, 1 is equal to E plus f. Right? So this is my equation number 1 for force f. In the same way, mass, for mass m, equation will be 0 equal to a plus d minus e. For length L, equation will be minus 1 equal to minus 3a plus b plus c minus d plus e. For temperature T, equation will be minus 1 equal to minus e minus f. And for time theta, equation will be minus 1 equal to minus b minus d minus f. So these are the comparing of powers of f, m, l, t, theta, right hand side and left hand side. So I have given number to this equation 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now if you see these equations, now we have to rearrange these variables or these constants in such a way that we can make a group. So now in the next step, we have to obtain the values of all the constant in terms of any two variable. So here we have taken two variables a and e. That means I want all the constants in the form of a and e. So remaining are b, c, d and f. So I have to make the equation of b, c, d and f in the form of a and e. Understood? So from equation 1, see here, from equation 1, f is equal to 1 minus e. I can write this from equation 1, f is equal to 1 minus e. So now f constant is in the term of e. That's what I want. Now from equation 2, d is equal to e minus a. See here, d is equal to e minus a. So again d is in the form of a and e. So at the end I want all the constant in the form of a and e. So from 1 and 2 I will get this d and f. Now from equation 5. Equation 5 is what? Minus 1 is equal to minus d, minus b, minus d, minus f. Now in place of f, I can write 1, I can write this in place of d, I can write e minus a. right? So putting that D is equal to E minus A and putting F is equal to 1 minus E, the terms will be cancelled and remaining term is A. So B is equal to A, so again B is in the form of A. Fine. Now equation from 3, which is 3 minus 1 equal to minus 3A plus B plus C minus D plus E. So now in place of B I can write A, in place of D I can write E minus A. Fine. And then elaborating the equation, I will get C is equal to A minus 1. So at the end of this simplification, I will get all the constant in the form of A and E. Fine. Now substituting back into our main equation. See, our main equation is H equal to A, rho raised to A, U raised to B, like that. Now in place of that, see here, rho raised to A as it is. U raised to B, in place of B I have written A because I have proved that, see here, I have proved that B is equal to A. So rho raised to A, U raised to A, L raised to C, in place of C I can write A minus 1. Mu raised to D, so mu raised to, in place of D I can write E minus A, I have proved that. Cp raised to E as it is K raised to F, so K raised to 1 minus E. Now in our next step, I have to combine all the same power variables. That means I have to combine A variables power, I have to combine the variables having E and the constants. So I am combining the same power variables. Then collecting the same power terms together, we get H is equal to capital A into bracket L U rho upon mu raised to A, Cp mu by K raised to E and K by L. So these L, U, rho upon mu are having power A. So we are combining that and we are combining the variables having E power and the constant power. So I can get this. I am now rearranging this equation. So HL by K is equal to A into bracket LU rho by mu raised to A and Cp mu by K raised to E. Now if you put these variables units, if you put the unit of H, L divided by K, then all the units will be cancelled. Similarly here also, if you put the units of L, U, rho by mu, all the units will be cancelled. In the same way here also. So these are the dimensionless number. This HL by K is the dimensionless number known as Nusselt number. LU by rho is the dimensionless number known as Reynolds number and Cp mu by K is the dimensionless number known as Prandtl number. So this is the dimensional analysis method used for heat transfer by forced convection. So after doing this much of the mathematical part, we will finally reach to a dimensional number form equation. Right? So that's all about today's session. In today's session, we have seen the application of dimensionless number in case of heat transfer by forced convection. I hope the session is clear to all. Thank you.